What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. And tonight.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
I was explaining to my kids yesterday that Australia is a terrible place and it's full of nothing but monsters.
It is. I've heard people say that people from Australia are like Britain's rednecks.
Well, not I feel like that's where God designed everything that's going to eventually wipe out humanity.
Yeah, I think like 8 of the 10 deadliest snakes are there. One of them's in the water too. They have big sharks in the water. They have big crocodiles,
sharks,
emus.
They have jumpy things that want to punch you in the face.
Kangaroos, spiders.
Yeah,
they got fall bears,
huge ass spiders.
You know how they have drop bears out there?
Gimpy plant.
The Gimpy plant. Oh, that's the one where you touch it, like it sears your skin, right?
Yeah, where you touch it and you get the searing pain. We did a show on this where they said it was the people have described the pain as pouring acid on your hand and lighting it on fire at the same time.
Yeah, I think we talked about it, and they were like, oh, yeah, it'd be funny, like you touch your crotch, and then you said that part, and you're like, yeah, let's not talk about that. I don't think we did a show on it.
I think we did.
Romance did it.
Shawn, today or tonight, whichever it may be, and wherever our listening public may be, we are not talking about Australia.
Nope.
That just popped in my head. We are talking not Australia. We're talking about Austria.
Ah, Austria.
Totally different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't that
100%? Isn't
it like Australia? Austria is north and Australia is south.
No, that's not at all how it works. Australia is an island. You know why it's an island, Shawn? Because everything that's there
is just there.
Was designed not to get out. Because
God
if
is
it
like,
did,
let's put you right here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, God's like playing Earth Sims. He's like, let's put you things over here on this island.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
oh, these things that could totally kill every human being on the planet. Yeah, let's put you on this place surrounded by water so that way none of you can leave.
But then they're like, it's
like Planet X.
At first, it's
where they send all the monsters.
Well, at first, it's like, well, everyth's an island god. And he's like, damn it, Pangea. He breaks it in half like an egg and then eats it.
Yeah. And thank the good, sweet Lord he did, because otherwise, you know what we'd have? You know what happened right now, Shawn? Kangaroo jumped through my window. Yeah. And then what? Like, you know what it'd do? Punch me in the face.
Yeah. He's like, you talking shit, Richard? No. Whack. Oh, shit. Like, could you imagine? Like, if they had all the greatness that the rest of the world had, like if they weren't just trapped there on that island, kangaroos could be the apex predators, Richard.
Yeah. And then don't get me started on the emus.
Yeah. We've already lost. Well, we didn't. Australia. They combined. Well, no, Austria and Australia, they combined to fight the emus. And that's why
we'll lay down our weapons. After the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And after that battle, since they lost, they said, we're never going to be one. Just Austria and Australia forever. Haven't you heard the great fight song of Australia? Australia, we barely knew ya.
Fuck the emus.
Austria lost it for us. Hey.
So, Shawn, we're talking about Austria. And this is actually, we're gonna talk about something that's hell. You know what else is hell? I mean, Australia is hell. It's gotta be. But another kind of hell,
marriage,
is war.
Oh, what?
War is hell, Shawn.
That's what I said. I said marriage. I mean, it's the same thing.
I mean, I guess it depends on the marriage. No, the Austro-Turkish War is the name of this war.
What year did this great war take place, Richard?
This war happened in the year 1788.
Ah, yes. The Summer of Love.
September of 1788. So it could have been summer.
Yeah.
It could have been.
I'm looking at the Austria coat of arms, and it is creepy as hell. It looks
What's
like
so
a
creepy about it?
Well, it looks like a blackbird that's been soaked. You know, like whenever you have like a bird that gets like wet and it looks creepy. It looks like that, and it's got like a crown on its head, but not really a crown. It looks like the pillars of a castle, and then it's holding a sickle and a hammer, and then it's got chains on it, but it's broke the chains because it's the chain breaker.
See, because you know why? Because this is an army to be feared, Shawn. This is a nation to be feared. Don't you fuck with Austria.
Yeah, what's
Or
Austria?
they'll get their big brother, Alia, to show up with their kangaroos and their deadly spiders and their giant fuck-off birds.
Don't make us call Raelia. They've got the sea, you sons of bitches, with those sharks.
I'm gonna get my big brother, and then you'll be fixed up good.
Shut up, Austria.
So yeah, fucking Austria. So in September of 1788, the Ottoman army, which is this would be the Turkish in the Austro-Turkish War, the Ottoman Empire or the Ottoman army arrived in the town of Cranberry.
You know, Richard, there's nothing better than a good... Richard, you know, there's nothing better than a good Ottoman. It's, you know, you can put your feet on it, you can put your blankets in it, or hide other stuff. And then you just sit on, like you have a party, you push your ottoman out a little ways, and it's another chair. And then somebody's sitting there, and they're like, hey, it's getting to be late in the season. It's November. I need a blanket. And you're like, hey, guess what, Ottoman Empire? Just lift up the top. And what's right there? Blankets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Ottoman Empire was very accommodating when they had guests.
Yeah, very spacious.
And they actually had a lot of guests. If I remember right, I've heard one person describe the Ottoman Empire as something that slowly collapsed like a flan in a cupboard.
Who doesn't love flan?
So the Ottoman army arrived in the town of Cranberry or Cranberry. I'm not sure. Cransebbes.
Cranberries.
Cranberries. Let's go with that. Town of Cranberry.
You know what
After
their biggest
several
export
days-
was, Richard? Grapes.
No, wouldn't it be craisins?
Well, that was kind of the joke because of their cranberries.
I like
but
craisins.
I don't know if I've
Some
had
people
craisins.
not craisins. I love craisins on a salad.
Oh, are those
Primo.
They basically look like raisins, but they're red, right?
Yeah, because they're dried cranberries.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what that was.
You didn't know they were called craisins?
Mm-mm. It makes sense.
Because they're cranberry raisins.
Yeah.
Craisins.
They are good on a salad. They add that little sweetness to it. Like you take a bite with your, like, maybe you're a little bit sweet or bitter salad dressing. Put that in your mouth with a cherry tomato. I love salad.
Good stuff. Except for the cherry tomato.
Oh, cherry tomatoes are good.
You
You bite it.
can't do it.
Explodes in your mouth.
I'm letting that hang there.
Because it explodes in your mouth.
All right, I feel that. Yeah, I'll feel that. I feel that's adequate. Now, so the Ottoman army arrived in town, and there they found their enemy, and their enemy was the Austrians.
Oh, they were like standing up and saying, "We're protecting our older brother, Raelia."
Yeah. But small problem, Shawn. Well, not really a problem. Not really a problem for the Ottomans. But the Austrians were in a state of utter disarray and destruction.
Did they have cannons and stuff at this point? Or was it just, it was, you said late.
Well, 1788. Yeah, I think at that point, they had cannons. Yeah.
And this would have been the warfare where it's like, all right, everybody, line up. They'll shoot first.
Well, I mean, I feel like that was strictly a British thing. Or no, because I think the French did it too.
Yeah, it was
where they'd sit there and they just like, all right, everybody, let's get in a line, and hopefully more of their people die than ours.
Yeah. All right, we shoot. Hey, you cannot shoot at me. I'm the general. You break the rules of war.
Hey, so here's the plan, guys. I want you all to stand in a line, and then you shoot your gun. And then I want you to spend the next 3 to 5 minutes standing in the middle of an open field while getting shot at, so that way you can reload.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because if you fall over because you just took a musket ball in your eyeball and you're dead, that's okay, because there's somebody that's right behind you that's going to stand there and shoot their gun and then spend the next 3 minutes trying to reload.
Yeah, but not shooting until the other team goes, because that's not gentlemanly.
Hey, there's a bush over there. Could I maybe hide behind that? But no.
No.
You silly, silly man.
Yeah. There's a skit by the Whitest Kids You Know that does that, and they show the British line. And like, oh, okay. Oh, and then the American shoots like, oh, I see you shoot first. Okay, well, it's our turn. And then the Americans shoot again. It's like, oh, wait, you shot twice. Now we get 2 shots. And somebody shoots at the guys. Wait, I'm the general. You can't shoot at the general. Yeah. Americans like, nope.
Yeah, America was like, you know what's smart? What if we shoot our guns and then we'll hide? So that way, when they shoot at us, they'll hit the things that we're hiding behind.
Yeah, and as we're reloading,
then we won't be dead.
Yep. And they will. And then guess what? Our tea will not have taxes.
It's the whole reason.
That's why when you go to the market today, Richard, and you buy tea, there's no tax on it.
Nope, it's all just a flat rate. Like you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh, cookies $4.99. Oh, look, some tortilla shells $1.99. Tea $4. Why is tea at $4?
Because
there's no taxes on it.
America.
Thank you, General Washington, I believe is the sentiment you're looking for.
He crossed that river the morning of Christmas so we didn't have to pay taxes on tea ever again. Yeah. You think if he like showed up just like randomly, he went to buy tea, he's like, oh, $3.99. Great.
Oh my God.
$4.
Do you think he would? Do you think?
Oh,
I didn't think about this. Okay, let's say hypothetically, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, like they all rise from the grave, you know, and they're like, hey, we're alive. And they're like, oh my God, let's go to the grocery store. And they go to the grocery store and they're like, look at all this fucking food you got. And they're like, oh, sweet, you guys have tea. And they go to get the tea and they're like, and the cashier's like, that'll be, $4.08. And then Benjamin Franklin's like, what do you mean? It said $3.99 on the little sign. And he's like, well, you forgot about sales tax. And then Benjamin Franklin's like, sales tax.
And he's like, quick.
George Washington shoots that cashier right in the fucking face.
No, you have to take it a little further, Richard. Like, wait, all right. And they put down the money. They get back like, all right, everybody, we're going to dress like Indians and come in here and burn all this tea. And somebody's like, that's not PC.
No, it's not. And they're like, what do you mean? We're dressed up like Redskins. And there's like, whoa.
Yeah, come on. What year are you from? 1776. Great. Next, you're going to tell me women can vote.
Yeah.
Don't say.
Where's
don't tell him.
That's it. I'm leaving. And then they get in some black guy's car and they're like, take me home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean take you home? It's my car. And Benjamin Franklin's like, what do you mean your car?
And then Jefferson's like, what's a car?
And then Franklin's like, I totally came up with this like 200 years ago. This is copyright infringement.
Goddamn Tesla. You talk to him one time, steals all your ideas.
Fucking time traveling son of a bitch.
Quick, let's go back to the times where it makes sense.
Yeah. $4.08 for tea. I'll have none of it, good sir.
We died for this, Franklin. We died for this. Yeah, I don't think they'd be happy. Because first off, too, they'd be like, well, I mean, state tax. Okay, that makes sense. Like, well, there's this other tax and this other tax. It's like, well,
of all the things that our forefathers would roll in their graves for, we choose the 7% sales tax on tea. Like, that's the last draw for them.
Well, they're like, well, okay, so I mean, taxes on goods, at least my income is safe, right? And you're like, well, about that? My property's safe, right?
I mean, unless Walmart wants to buy it.
Mm.
So the Austrian army, from 1787 to 1791, the Austrian army, then it was called the Habsburg Empire, was immersed in the Habsburg-Ottoman War of the Austro-Turkish War that led by the dangerously ill Emperor Joseph II.
What's the difference between
so the
emperor?
Austrians had the Habsburg Empire, and they were ruled by Joseph II, who apparently was very ill.
What's the difference between an emperor and a king? Is there like a technical difference?
I think it's just the territory that they claim.
So if they say they're like an empire. So a king would be more like, I rule over this land and everybody has to like go through me. An emperor would be more like, there's tons of land that like are split up into smaller sub like divisions that people run.
Exactly.
And they report to me.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. Like the Roman Empire had the Roman Senate and, blah, 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 blah. The Holy Roman Empire had, mainly went through the Catholic Church, and then there was the Mongol Empire, which was just basically Genghis Khan, like, I'm gonna fucking ride my horse and fuck my way all through Europe.
Yeah.
Woo!
Didn't they say like a high percentage of people are like related to Genghis Khan?
They say like 80% of the world's population can trace their lineage back to Genghis Khan because his dick apparently, conquered more tail than the Romans and the fucking Ottomans combined.
Which I like to imagine it's like he's like the dude on a romance novel, like it's all sweet and everything. Like he roll into town and all
no.
the like
he looked like the bad guy from Mulan. That's what he looked like.
He was,
let's be honest.
He was pillaging and his blazing saddle says pillaging and raping.
Yeah.
History's like bad.
Like Genghis Khan, you said rape twice, and he's like, I like rape.
What about the men? Rape them too.
Yeah. So by that token, Shawn, I'm sure we could both trace our lineage back to Genghis Khan. You know what that means? We're related.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The bros are really bros.
Yeah. Bet you wanna get on your knees and thank Genghis Khan right now. Don't actually do that, because if you get on your knees in front of Genghis Khan, I'm fairly certain he's gonna put his dick somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm like, no, wait, we're related. He's like, don't care. Boop.
So's everybody else.
It's like, damn it, why couldn't Jefferson, Franklin, and Washington come back from the dead? Franklin was the only one trying to fuck people.
Okay, so anyway, the Austrian army was thus in many ways haphazard because the emperor was ill. Not the least of which being the fact that it was made up of Austrian nationals, men from the Czech Republic, Germany, France, Croatia, Serbia, and Poland. Therefore, communication between the different nationalities was difficult.
Oh, yeah, communication was by horse. You had to do like the telephone game where it's like, hey, go tell the Polish.
And also, like, consider it's the telephone game where like everybody's speaking a different language.
Yeah.
So I say, hey, let's go left so that way we can flank the enemy. And then the next person says, I don't know what that dude said.
I think he said he wants to fuck
because I don't understand English. But let's go right up the middle. And then the third guy says, I say we just turn around and go home because I'm tired and I don't understand what the second guy said.
And the other one sneezed and I don't want to die. I'm 19 years old. I've lived a long life to die
now. And more often than not, necessary communications were literally lost in translation.
Oh, like the movie?
Yes. Bill Murray was alive in 1788, and he kissed Emperor Joseph II on the cheek and then whispered something in his ear, and no one knows what it is.
And that confusion's what started the war.
Yep.
Time traveling Bill Murray gets you every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Bill Murray could travel
At the
through time, like he
time-
could fix stuff.
Do I think Bill Murray would travel through time?
If he did, do you think he could fix stuff? Like during this whole thing, he'd go up and they'd be like, I don't feel like fighting because this guy's funny.
That's true. I heard a story once that he rode his bike. He was riding a motorcycle through the jungle somewhere. I want to say like Southeast Asia, and the bike broke down. And so he was, waiting for help to come and get him. And when the help finally came, he was at a village where he was like standing on like a little platform that they made for him. And he was up there like telling jokes and being funny.
Nice.
And like entertaining the whole village. So I could totally see Bill Murray like traveling through time and just like talking people out of shit, getting people out of jams.
I want to see that movie. Like he's the Quantum Leap of like humor.
Yeah. It's like if Quantum Leap was, good.
Quantum Leap was great. You take that back. That's a great bit of TV history.
Some people loved it. I know a lot of people that loved it. Just wasn't my cup of tea.
Well,
At the time of the Battle of Cranberry, the Austrians were in battle.
Zombie. Hey.
And the Austrians with their bombs and their guns
And their misspoken words.
they can't talk. The Austrians were in battle against the Ottoman Empire for control of the Danube River. On the night of September 17th, Austrian cavalrymen went on a scouting patrol for Turkish soldiers.
Ooh, they're like, we're going to get those Turks.
Yeah.
And they're walking around
while they were
Richard,
out.
and they're going, like, Greg, what are you doing? I'm trying to catch them. They have really good eyesight. Greg, do you wait, hold on. Let me ask him this.
Do you think we're fighting birds?
Well,
That's the Australians. That's not us, Greg.
we're fighting the turkey, right? The Turks. I fell off my horse when I was a kid.
We don't fuck with birds, Greg. Do you remember what happened to the Australians?
Do you remember what happened to our neighbors, the Raelias?
But while the scouts were out, the soldiers came upon a group of travelers that had set up camp on the other side of the river.
Was this the wise men
travelers
going to see
offered-
Jesus?
Maybe.
Like, what do you have that
the traveler-
frankincense for?
Eat it up on the myrrh next time. The travelers offered the soldiers drink in order to appease the weary men after a long day's work. The soldiers accepted the hospitality and thus began a night of heavy drinking.
And then they woke up one morning and there's this little creepy doll on a bike and it rolled up to him and says, Austria, do you want to play a game?
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
And then Jigsaw showed up. No, at one point during the festivities, a group of infantrymen happened upon the drinkers and they asked to join in. When the infantrymen were denied the alcohol, so these infantry guys show up and they're like, hey, like, you guys are having a party with us? Well, give us some. And the cavalrymen were like, no, fuck you. Like, this is our beer. They gave it to us. When they were denied alcohol, a fist fight erupted. Before long, the fight escalated and shots were allegedly fired.
So these guys are on the same side?
These guys are on the same side, Sean.
Court martial.
Don't get between a soldier and his booze.
Yeah. I bet one of them was like, they don't want to share because you know what they are? They're dirty horse fuckers. Like, what'd you say? I called you a dirty horse fucker.
I say you're a dirty horse fucker. Them's fighting words. Put up or shut up.
I'm a horse lover, you asshole.
Punch. Bang, bang.
Well,
they're like, whoa.
They'd be like, whoa.
We were just doing punchy. Where did bangy
Yeah,
show?
it's like, bang,
come
bang.
in?
You wait. 3 more minutes from now, I'm going to shoot you again. Hey, look at the grip he has on that. I bet he jerks his horse off. Hey, you son of a bitch. My horse is an amazing animal.
Oh, in a minute and a half, you're so going to get it.
And then my horse is going to get it.
As long as you don't hide behind anything. Back in the town where there was no drinking, no fighting, and no festivities.
Oh.
Sounds like a terrible place.
Yep. Boarsville. Population, all of them.
Yeah. Back in Squaresville. The rest of the Austrian army.
Are you excited for the war tomorrow?
The rest of the Austrian army was on alert for Turkish forces. When they heard the shots fired from across the river, the sober Austrian forces naturally interpreted the fracas to be the Turks.
You know what? They're like, holy shit, somebody's shooting at night. Like, do you think the Americans got here? I heard those dirty fuckers come at you at night on Christmas.
Yeah.
Is that George Washington over there?
Lawless sons of bitches.
That country's going to go down the
some
shitter.
Fucking tea. The worst. So the sober Austrian forces interpreted the fighting to be the Turks, and they began to scream that it was the Turks.
Uh-oh.
So the guys like on patrol, they're like, oh, it's the Turks, it's the Turks. Across the river, the drunken forces heard the comrades' cries. So across the river, the scouts, the horsemen that were scouts, and the infantrymen that, also showed up, and the two guys that were, the two groups of guys that were fighting, they hear the dudes in town or the people in town saying, oh my God, it's the Turks.
Oh, they had been really close then. Because, that would have had to carry.
Yeah, you would think. Well, or they had like the horns. You know what I mean?
It's the Turks.
Like maybe somebody had a trumpet.
It's the Turks. It's the Turks.
So across the river, the drunken forces heard the cries, and they rushed to camp to assist their fellow soldiers.
So the cavalry and the infantrymen that were coming to fisticuffs.
The cavalry and the infantrymen that were punching and apparently shooting at each other.
Like, this isn't over,
because
infantry. We're gonna fuck you up later.
Yeah. Just you wait until the locker room. You little bitch.
I'll give you a wedgie. I don't wear underwear. Was underwear invented back then? Or just wear pants?
I don't know. When was underwear invented?
1923.
That's a good year.
Was.
Summer of love.
Summer of love. Oh, man. Women were running around in ankle-length bikinis. Men had those caps on when they swam.
They wore those striped bathing suits.
Yep. Which made it kind of difficult.
So they all look like prisoners that were fleeing Alcatraz.
It was tough to be like, is that a prisoner, or is that just a Manchester or a Massachusetts swimming? I don't know. Shoot him either way. Let's be safe.
Shoot him anyway. So the drunk soldiers and the soldiers that were fighting because they wanted to get drunk, they rush back. They're heading back to the camp because they hear the cries of help. The people in the camp hear the shots from the two groups of people fighting, and they get themselves ready. Seeing the approaching mass of men in the dark, the sober forces open fire.
So
believing the drunk soldiers to be the invading enemy Turks.
Wait, was this the infantry's kind of trick? So the infantrymen get back quickly, and the drunk cavalry comes like, no, those are the Turks there.
No, I would think that the cavalry guys would get back first, right? Because they have horses.
Well, I mean, if they're drunk, they'd have to get back on their horses. They'd fall off.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they think the camp's under attack. Do you think they're just going to leisurely like grab the reins of their horse and just kind of saunter back to fucking camp with their horse?
That's what I'm mad. It's like, all right, let's get on our horse and go fight the bull. And the infantrymen get back first. And it's like, where are those drunk assholes at? It's like, well, they were fucking around with their horses. They're not back yet. And you just hear, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. And then the infantrymen are like, that sounds like Turks. That's the sound they make.
And the infantrymen that didn't get beers, like,
and then
hey,
the
those
sober
fuckers
guys
didn't
are like,
share.
by gum, you're probably right.
Open fire just in case. Got you good, you fuckers.
So seeing the approaching mass of men in the dark, the sober forces open fire, believing the drunken soldiers to be the invading enemy Turks. Upon being fired on, the drunken soldiers believe their camp to be overtaken by the Turks and in turn fired back.
Uh-oh.
So the sober guys fire on the drunk guys. The drunk guys are now firing on the sober guys. Shawn, this army is now in a pitched battle with itself.
Well, this was at night, you said?
This was at night.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be. That's why you want matching uniforms.
Yeah. Well, and okay, like think about this. Like, and it's, I don't know if this is in here, but think about this. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to scream stop. The whole army speaks like 8 different languages.
Good point. That sounds like a Turkish accent. Trying to talk a Polish accent.
So one guy says stop, and the other guy's like, "That's turkey talk."
No,
boom, boom.
I know. Stop shooting. I'm just drunk.
That's a good point. And they're also drunk. So now you're getting slurred, a slurred dialect that you can't understand.
And you got one of them who's riding his horse backwards and he's shooting at the 3 wise men in the other direction over the river.
Yeah.
And those guys are like, fuck this.
Fuck
let's
your
go.
frankincense.
This Jesus guy better be worth it.
He wasn't.
I was going to say, spoiler alert, he was. They get there, it's just a baby.
I feel so deflated. So now this army is fighting itself. There's drunk guys, there's sober guys, there's guys on horses, there's guys that aren't on horses with black eyes because they got punched in the face by a guy that has a horse.
Well, and the guys that are coming across the river, there couldn't have been that many of them, right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I wouldn't
the whole
think.
cavalry.
No, it was probably just like a scouting group.
You know what? If those guys are like special forces and they end up killing all their people, and they roll in, they'll be like, "Oh shit, Greg, we fucked up."
Who the fuck did this?
Glad we got here in time. It could have been worse.
Whether because they realized the mistake that had transpired or simply because they wanted the firing to stop, a few German officers shouted halt.
Scheiße. Nein.
Yeah, which means stop. So they say halt. But, and like I predicted, due to the language barrier, non-German soldiers believe the German soldiers to be shouting Allah, which is what the Turks were known to shout during battle.
Oh,
as
shit.
a cry to God.
So they're like, did those German motherfuckers just say Allah?
Traitors!
Oh, you wait till I get this gun reloaded, you motherfucking Germans. What did he say?
If you're not going to pay for this now,
you're
Turks. Totally going to pay for this in like 200 years. Just you wait. Fucking Germans.
Yeah. I didn't realize they can't have a standing army.
No.
Yeah.
What happened the last 2 times they had a standing army?
It's true. I think Japan.
Not just once, twice.
Yeah. I think Japan can either. I think that was the other thing. They can have like a national guard, but not a standing army.
Right.
Like, how long do you punish them for?
I don't know, Shawn. How long do you punish someone for fucking genocide?
Well, Germany makes sense. I mean, but Japan, they have tentacle porn now, so.
That's true. And to be fair, we did drop bombs on Japan.
Yeah.
So,
and
I mean.
Godzilla. What is Germany giving us? Bratwursts.
And Kraftwerk. That fucking band. So the non-German soldiers believe the German soldiers to be shouting Allah as a cry to their God. Instead of ceasing the firing, the cries simply fueled the firing. Chaos reigned in the Austrian camp, and thus the Battle of Cranberry's raged.
And the Austrians are sitting up there Like, oh shit, it's starting. It's like, is anybody shot yet? No. Wait, where's the shots coming from? Are they shooting each other? No.
No, you're saying that when the Turks show up.
When they're like sitting, like wherever they are. I mean, I'm sure they're sitting on top of a hill.
You said
watching.
the Austrians. You meant the Turks. The opposing force.
The Turks, yeah.
So the Turks show up and they're probably like, what the fuck is going? These guys are fucking crazy.
Guys, turn back. We don't want to fight these fuckers. They're shooting each other.
So chaos reigned in the Austrian camp, and the Battle of Cranberries raged. From a combination of inebriation, darkness, and language barriers, the entire Austrian army was battling itself. And by the end of the night, roughly thousands of Austrian men were left dead or wounded.
I mean,
the estimates that I have seen, I think they say like 1,200.
Oh, damn. What percentage of the forces was that?
Let's see.
I feel like this is a key thing. Like, first off, the battle's always an inner battle. You got to win those wars inside. And two, communication's key.
The only war you really fight, Shawn, it's with yourself. So in the morning, so the nights happened. By the morning, the Austrians had realized what had happened.
I'm thinking of like George. Like, he went to bed early and he heard all this going on, but he's a heavy sleeper and he wakes up. He's like, walks out of his tent, like, what the fuck?
What did you do?
Some drunk guy on a horse hungover walks by. He's like, what happened? We were attacked. By who?
The Turks. Well, where are they? Oh, yeah.
Huh. You know what?
Come to think of it, I don't remember actually seeing any of them.
I was drunk. I'm sorry, George.
I fucked up. You know what? This is my bad. I own this one.
I know.
I'll take this one.
Sorry, I know you got to write the report because you're the lead officer now. You're like, I'm a private. Yeah, well, I think we're all getting
everybody
demoted
else
after this
dead. So by the morning, the Austrians realized what had happened. Unfortunately, by then the damage was done, and soldiers had perished in the friendly, albeit chaotic, fire.
Yeah,
The army had thus made itself vulnerable.
Oh, are you going to tell me the Turks saw this happening?
So the Turks finally did arrive, but they came 2 days later.
And somebody's like, the Turks! Like, ha ha ha! Fool me once! Shame on you! Fool me twice! Shame on me!
I'm not! No, not this time!
Oh, I was raising my gun and then I thought, what happened last time? I was like, what would Jesus do? Not shoot at my own men again. Wait, those guys don't look like Australians.
You know, he said, love your brother. Don't shoot him in the face over booze. So when the Turks really did invade 2 days later, their planned attack proved unnecessary because the entire Austrian army was incapacitated, leaving the city's defenses down, and Cranberry was open for the taking, which was exactly what the Turkish army did.
So they came through and slaughtered them.
I don't know if they, I don't know if they just ran away or what. But yeah, but imagine if you're the Turks, you show up and be like, hey, looks like Jeff got here before us and, kind of softened this up so that way we could just march right in. And then Jeff's like, I didn't do it.
Maybe it was Steve.
Like, what do you mean you didn't do it?
That would be smart. Somebody take credit for that. They'd be God.
Oh, I know, right? Like, one guy's like, this was all me.
Came into the night.
I walked in here and I shot like 1,200 people in the middle of the night. It's like, you're like Chuck fucking Norris.
Who's that? You'll know.
Turk fucking Norris. That's who you are.
Hey, don't mess with that guy. He's like fucking Washington. He goes in the night and kills
He killed
people.
1,200 people.
Yeah.
By himself.
It wasn't Christmas, but holidays weekends anyway.
Though the events were later recorded, the fact that it took 40 years to do.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, honestly, Richard, if you were there, wouldn't you bury that pretty deep?
I know, right?
You get the group together.
The fact that they're surprised 40 years later.
Hey guys, everybody come here. Hey, meeting.
I got the story. I mean, don't write it down or anything.
Yeah.
But
so what happened here? We're all going to stick to this story. George Washington crossed the river and is fighting with the Turks.
And we got him, but at great cost.
Yeah.
That's what it was. George Washington stood up at the Turk army and he was like, me, I did this. And then the Turks are like, George Washington, aren't you supposed to be president right now? And he's like, I had more important things to do.
He's like, I'm on holiday.
Fuck these Austrians up.
I said, let's go. I meant to say, let's go west, but I said, let's go east. And
yeah. And so here I am.
They built a boat.
How much do you guys charge for tea? $4.08.
Oh, I knew I had a purpose.
The sign says $3.99.
You wait till I send a partridge to Franklin. In about 3 to 7 months, he's gonna bring my army here.
You are so fucked. Though the events were later recorded, the fact that it took 40 years to do so became a point of contention and proof for some that the battle. Some people, Shawn, think that the battle never actually happened.
So they're like, so basically, who says that though? Because the lineage of stuff is kind of mushy now, isn't it?
Well, basically, they're saying since it took 40 years for somebody to say it happened, they're arguing that it didn't actually happen.
So, was it 40 years ago from now, or 40 years after this battle?
40 years after this battle.
Oh, so some guy is like talking about the Emu War. And he's like, you want to hear something fucked up?
Yeah, he's like, I got that beat. You want to hear something fucking stupid? Listen to this.
I was riding my horse and I saw these 3 men who said they were going to see a baby. And they had booze. And then these motherfucking infantrymen are waddling their way up, not even riding a horse. And they said, can we have some? And I said,
we want some of your frankincense. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? This is my frankincense. Get your hands off. Go find somebody and get your own frankincense.
And then we started a tussle, and then these motherfuckers pulled out their guns and shot at us. And so we shot right damn back. And next thing I hear is, Turks! Turks!
That's the warning call.
But you know what? There were no goddamn Turks.
You know what? It probably was George Washington. And here's why I say that. You ready for this? Think about this, okay? Turkeys are native to one place and one place alone, Shawn. Do you know where that is?
Is it North America? Because they're in Mexico.
Turkeys are native to North America.
Oh, they're like the Australian bird of America.
So there's one Turk.
Washington's like, I've killed every turkey known to man.
He's like, call me the Turk.
Hunter.
Okay. So additionally, some historians find it hard to believe that an army could fight against itself for that long with that many casualties without noticing at any point that they were fighting against their own troops.
It's kind of weird,
some people
Richard.
are calling bullshit.
Well, let's back up a second. It's kind of weird that a country would name themselves after a bird that doesn't exist in their borders.
Well, they have Turkish Delight, right?
What's that? Okay. I was going to say, turkeys, you deep fry that? Good stuff. Good old turkey breast.
Oh, hey, you know what? Since you brought that up, I feel like public service announcement with Thanksgiving coming up. If you do plan on deep frying a turkey, you thaw the bird first.
Otherwise,
you will blow yourself up.
Yep. You'll go
you
out
will
and
explode.
you'll look, and because it thaws and the water gets in, the oil starts spitting out over top, and then oil and fire doesn't mix well, and it just...
And then you burn down everything that you've loved.
Yep. And
so if you're going to deep fry a turkey, which I agree is fucking delicious, but if you're going to do that, your bird needs to be 100% thawed. No ice at all.
Even when you bake a turkey, don't you really need to make sure it's fully thawed?
Yeah, well, if you bake a turkey, yes, it needs to be at least 80 to, it has to be like 90% thawed. I mean, like if the inside has some ice crystals or something like that, like it's not that huge
but
a
if
deal.
It's got to be mushy on the inside, like mushy where if you like, you don't,
it's got to be, but yeah, you want it thawed. And for most turkeys, like it's like, let's say you buy a turkey frozen and you stick it in your fridge. It takes like 2 to 3 days.
It takes a while.
Depending on how big it is, but it could take like 3 days for your turkey to thaw in the fridge.
And also the insides, the innards are in like a bag, so make sure you pull those out.
Oh, I hope they notice that. But
I think I did one time.
But ugh,
I mean, I finally got them before we cooked it, but
sure,
it was like
but yes,
in there, but you got to get deep inside it because it's way back there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Getting them guts.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what's that soggy thing?
Yes, if you're going to fry a turkey, thaw your bird out completely.
Yep.
The less water, the better.
I love Thanksgiving.
Thaw it out, dry it off.
You know, this does...
You're good to
I don't know if this is the weekend of or when this comes out specifically, but it might be more towards Christmas, actually. I don't remember. But you know what I love? I do love Thanksgiving.
What do you love?
And I love Christmas. What we do for Thanksgiving, we do prime rib Thanksgiving night.
Ooh.
And then we do like traditional Thanksgiving the day after. Great stuff.
Oh, that's nice. That's good stuff. So to wrap this up, those who believed that the battle truly happened cite embarrassment for the reason the battle was left out of mainstream history, believing that the army was so distraught over its own actions that they didn't speak of it for years. As far as how they didn't notice they were fighting themselves, the power of alcohol here certainly speaks for itself.
Yep. And they said, oh, well, you think it's so easy to know you're fighting yourself? Come here. What they did is they grabbed the other person's hand, started smacking with it, says, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Not easy, is it, asshole?
So apparently, so this is War History Online that says, sadly for historians, unfortunately for Joseph II, it seems unlikely that it happened. Records from the time do not record the battle. The first full account of the battle appeared decades later, and though the Austrians would be in no rush to report on what happened, it's unlikely that they could have covered up such a disaster for over half a century. This doesn't mean that the battle isn't worth the time of military historians. The legendary battle tells us a lot about the Austro-Turkish War and about the biases that slip into the way we view history.
Well, and also you think, like, as this battle was ending, they're like, wait, is somebody going to write this down? And, like, Bob's over there bleeding out. And you just hear, bang! He's dead.
Nope, never mind. We'll get it in post, guys.
No, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. What'd he say? Yeah, I think he said Allah. Bang.
Bang! Okay, so apparently they're saying this battle is the Austro-Turkish War in a nutshell. A neat analogy for what was happening. The Austrians became involved at the command of their dying leader, a man of great ambition but whose poor health cut his schemes short. The Austrian forces, actually men of many different languages, nationalities, and attitudes, struggled to work together, and this conflict became a futile one in which the Austrians died to no purpose and which Joseph himself could do nothing to redeem.
So their sick leader wasn't even there, but he was the one pushing them?
Well, the sick leader, yeah, he wasn't there, but obviously he's the one that was like, fuck these Turks, we can take them. And then the Austrian, like half the Austrians are like, what did he say? He said, blessed are the cheesemakers. So there you go, Shawn. The Cranberry War. The Battle of Cranberries.
Happens to the best of us. Well, Richard, it's one thing that we're definitely not brave enough to go into is war, but what do you have for some Richard's closing thoughts?
War is hell, and the battle that you really fight is one with yourself. That's the best way I can wrap this up.
And your demons. You have to watch out for your demons. Booze and anger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, don't drink and shoot guns in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's kind of what they teach you early on, really, with gun safety.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're going to fry a turkey, thaw it out. Yeah. There. That's how we'll end it.
I like it. All right. Well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook and grab a little bit of that LOB merchandise so we know that you're on our team by going to the T Public store and searching for Language of Bromance. And if you
because there's a chance I drink too much and then I shoot you.
Yeah. That's with water balloons, though. But you know what you fill them up with? Lube, which is awkward.
For you.
And also, if you want to join our army, go to our Patreon account. It's www.patreon.com/languageofbromance. There's tons of generals, positions, privates, all kinds of stuff.
You said privates.
And we are also part of the Pod Bros Network.
The podcast network that would never, ever, ever get drunk and shoot itself.
All right. Was there anything else before I close her out?
No, and no. And no.
All right. Well, that's all the bros we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And don't be a why. Be a why not. Unless you're like, hey, can I have some of those booze? Don't ask why. Just say, hey, why not? Share.
Yeah. Otherwise, you start shooting at each other.